Who's that boy right next to you, Mars?
I'm by myself. Okay. Sige. Okay. 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 Three, two, one, go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Cheers, Mars.
Kamusta my fellow Filipinos from across the globe?
Hindi po kami lasing.
We're just happy to be here.
Welcome to the Mars
What na? Podcast!
where our conversation is free-flowing.
Like the alcohol that we may or may not be drinking. Got your kumares.
Chell, aka Cheng Babe, and
Bethany, aka Betcha by Gali. Wow. And Mars, I'm so excited today. You know why?
why?
Why? Because I'm actually here and we're complete for the first time in a while. I have not just one, not two, but three of my siblings. So we are complete, all four of us. And do we bring them in one by one? Actually, katabi ko yung dalawa eh. So anyway, I'll bring I'll bring in the eldest first, my ate, that I don't really call ate,
Ate.
but Mars Bear. Welcome to the chat.
Hi,
Hi.
Ate.
And okay, I will pan really slowly. Ooh. Here we go. Mars, Blaze, and kumparing Benedict.
Hello,
Hello.
guys. Welcome,
Okay.
welcome.
Okay, so I actually mentioned their names now, but if you want to go introduce yourself and like who's who and your birth order. Okay, sige, I already said si Ate. Bear, say something about yourself.
So I'm Carol. I'm the eldest. Technically, I've
Yay.
not been with them
And
for the past month. Yeah.
yeah, she's in
Yeah,
quarantine.
I'm just in a hotel.
As you guys know, I'm Bethany. Hi. I'm the second. And then
I'm Benedict. I'm the only boy. I follow Bethany.
And yes, I am Blaze. I am the youngest of the four of us.
And I'm
we
the
usually-
fifth of the girl.
yes, adopted Buendia, yes. We usually have these episodes for Filipinos across the globe. So we were wondering, I mean, why am I asking this? I know the answer, but where are we all based? Kasi, like usually, well, I'm here in Hong Kong, and Bear, you're also here in Hong Kong most of the time when you're not flying.
Yes.
Yes, and these two.
Well, actually, the youngest, I mean, us two younger ones are based in Manila, actually, but we're only here to visit our two sisters, of course, to spend the holidays with them. Benedict, what do you do in Manila?
Well, for me, I just graduated, so I'm kind of in between stuff. I'm still looking for jobs.
Yeah, that's why we're like, oh, there are a lot of jobs here in Hong Kong. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
Like,
drag him here.
Mostly here for the opportunity, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, my dream is to have all four of us back here in Hong Kong working. I'm still trying to get that. I don't know, convince them to do that. But anyway, yeah. He. So I don't know. I thought it would be interesting to have this kind of episode because this whole podcast is all about relationships, and I think
Mhm.
one of the most important, or actually the first relationship that you develop, and it's really important to your socializing skills and everything, is having siblings. And the two of us so happen to have a lot of siblings because we're part of a rather big group, but actually tiny compared to other Filipino families. You think, Mars? Kasi four kami, tatlo kayo. Yeah.
Mm-mm. So I'll
Yeah.
bring my siblings, ano, later on.
Yes.
So kayo muna.
Kami muna. Okay,
Let's start
sige,
with sibling dynamics muna, Mars.
Sige ba? What are about sibling dynamics? So for me, like sibling dynamics is about like how we interact with each other and how we influence each other as we it helps with our development and all that. So ayun nga, how are we as siblings ba? How is that dynamic na how do you feel, Benedict, as like the only boy? Does that do you feel left out or anything like that because there are three
Sometimes,
girls?
like, I feel like I'm in the know with maybe girls a little bit. Like, amongst friends. I get that relation, like I get to relate with them being girls a little bit. But yun nga, there's also this that I'm not part of you also.
Yeah.
So Blaze, as the youngest,
The
how
youngest.
does it feel being the youngest? Because stereotype people are like, oh, if you're the youngest, they're gonna tell you what to do and stuff like that, and then you get to do whatever you want. How
Okay,
is it
yeah.
like?
Spill.
So, well, yeah, definitely. I've experienced my fair share of nga, like, well, younger years being told what to do, of course, kasi masusunod talaga yung mga like older siblings. But then, yes, I've also had my fair share, and my ate knows this. My ates know this, especially na I've gotten, I guess, away with a lot of the things that they weren't allowed to do, and it's not probably fair and whatnot. But yes, I guess the saying goes na parang, the youngest can, like skirt past what the parents initially set as rules for the other siblings.
Mm.
Yeah.
Si
And then,
ate.
yeah, as date, Bear, did you feel any kind of like, did you feel like a third parent of some sort with us?
I'm the guinea pig, you know?
Guinea pig. Wow.
All the experiments that the parents try to see would work or something. Yeah, it's basically always tried and tested on the eldest. And normally when they go out, they used to leave us with yayas. But eventually when I got older, the yayas were slowly like, they got they weren't needed anymore, and it was more like I was the one left in charge. And
Mm.
do you remember that time that, like, I think
Okay,
mom's
nagsisimula na. Let's go.
yeah, mom was flying and dad was
Yeah.
away somewhere, and I had to
Yeah.
here, and I am so surprised that nobody got food poisoning or died. Honestly.
Yeah, I remember like we were left alone a lot. Not naman like I'm not like accusing my parents na they're neglectful or whatever, but because of the nature of their jobs then my mom flying a lot and my dad, doing his own job and stuff. So we were left alone with each other. So I don't know. I liked how we were very reliant nga on each other. But then, I remember all these years of eating like Lucky Me. That's our main.
Yeah.
You got a lot of sodium then.
Yes. Yeah. Because we were surrounded by each other a lot. Did we feel na we were pretty close as siblings, or like our relationship? Do you think that it got better as we aged?
Mm.
Sure. Okay.
May I?
Anyone want
Go.
to?
Yeah, go,
Yeah.
Blaze.
Yes. Please go
Well,
ahead.
our aunt kasi would say na parang, what do you call that? Us siblings is, parang like we're close but we don't communicate. She said something like that, and I totally agree. Growing up, kasi I kind of felt that there was a bit of a rift. Like we're siblings nga, and like we get along, but then I feel like we weren't really able to communicate a lot of our feelings or a lot of what we wanted from each other or our family to one another nga. But growing up nowadays is like I feel like we're trying to bridge that gap now of like not fully bonding or like fully understanding or trying to let the other sibling know how we feel. So yeah, I feel much closer at least to my siblings now than like way before, definitely.
Yeah. Because like I feel like a lot of it, especially because with our age gaps, a lot of us like we were going through different things at different times, and so we couldn't be. I mean, if ever, it's because my ate and I, we have 3 years apart, and then 2 years, and then 2 years. So like between the eldest and the youngest, they have 7 years then. So it was always like we were always at different stages, and we couldn't really reconcile things. And then, so I guess like at some points we were like looking back and we were like, oh, like, oh, she was having it differently. But then I feel like we experienced similar things, but just different timings. Yeah. But yun nga, I feel like to continue what you said, we're better now. I feel like as like parang as you age, the age gap itself isn't as wide, because we're all adults now.
Yeah. Sorry.
Did I make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense because I feel like now I'm more, there's no the restriction of like being the younger one or the youngest one, because I remember at least being grade school or high school, and then my ates would be, like be hanging out with their college friends, like starting to drink and whatever. And then like in my mind, I always would be like, I'd always be catching up with my ates, like parang I won't be able to, hang out with their friends because like they're so much older and whatnot. But then in my mind, I was also like, I want to be able to hang out with my ates, but I don't want to feel left out. And but now that parang our ages like don't really matter anymore. It's kind of like we just meld together and we can just like bond, like inuman na tayo
Yeah.
lang. It's all chill. Like no one's gonna
Yeah.
be judging us
Siya
na
na
parang,
yung-
oh, you're too young.
Yeah, siya
ganon.
na yung taga-mix ng drink, siya na yung in charge, siya na yung
Nephew
party. Yeah.
Siya yung bartender.
Yeah, siya na lahat.
Ate, how about you? Because you're the eldest. Is it easier to communicate with the younger ones, the younglings?
Well, I mean,
Now
I
that-
guess, we still have our differences, but I mean, we try. It's part of growing up. You try to communicate. I mean, when you were younger, it's more like, galit, galit, and then I won't talk to you for, X amount of time. And then it's like you
We
try
used-
to get back at each other in petty ways. That kind
We
of
used to
thing.
have the silliest way of insulting each other. We came up with such weird names to
Benedict
call
would
each
share
other.
that.
Yeah, Benedict, why don't you say it? Like, do you remember?
Alin?
Yeah,
Ganun ba?
say. Crazy Manazy and Duck
Duck
Duck Pens.
I don't even know what
It's crazy
Princess
when
Banana Brain.
Princess Banana Brain. I don't know.
Yeah.
We had our own languages na hindi ko maintindihan.
Pero it hurt, ah. It hurt. It hurt when it was used
who's
on
who?
the
Who's who?
I don't know who made those. It's
I
like
think Beryl
it
did.
sprang up.
Yeah, and then just snowballed.
Wait, okay, so Benedict was called.
Actually, not,
No, we just
Well,
those were just general terms that we would throw at each other. Like,
Oh,
you're-
Yeah,
walang
and like
specific.
parang the one who would say the most.
sorry, Bear, I didn't catch
No,
what
I
you
said
said.
I'm 100% sure it was Blaze who replied, "You duck duck Penzi," but I
Okay, so there.
So
You
she
know, like,
remembers.
I tried to, get back at them. It maybe worked, it maybe didn't, but
I don't know. Was that like you were grade 1 or in kindergarten? I don't remember.
I think like I was like,
I think
what sounds like it'll hurt? Duck duck pansy. It's
Can
kind
we
of
say do poo head? Wala naman ganun.
no, parang no.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So speaking of that, like that's basically how we communicated then. So now we are talking about how we communicate now, especially since these two they don't actually live here all the time. So how do we keep in touch? Like how are we with checking in with each other and everything? Like
Or how
I
often
guess,
do you guys
like
chat?
who chats first actually? Who's regular with checking in with the others? Because I think obviously we use social media to connect, like Messenger, all those things.
Sino
sorry, were you-
madagdag?
You're pointing at me. Okay, sige.
But okay, well, yeah. So we have a family group chat or family group chats.
Yes.
So
Mm.
what do you call that? We regularly check up naman on each other. At least one of us, like brings up a topic.
Yes.
At least once a day. But then I guess nga since Beryl. Sorry. Okay. Another thing is we don't call each other ate.
Yeah.
or
In
kuya.
case you noticed, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take offense. It's just not.
Disclaimer. It's
Yeah.
not disrespectful.
I just call her ate.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there. What do you call that? So since Beryl and Bethany are away from us, I feel like they do reach out a bit more.
Hmm.
Because it's hard being away from the
Nakakamiss.
family. Yeah. So there.
Yeah. So we definitely, you mentioned the family group chat, but we do have our separate sibling group chat because of course there are things that we cannot discuss with the parentals
Yes.
or things that
they just won't get.
It's like
Yes.
you share it, and then they'll be like, "Who's that?" And we're like, "It's just some random person." And
Yeah. You know how all parents are.
they're like, "Sino yan?"
make you laugh. No other context. There's no history behind it. We don't know this person. They don't know us.
It's more trouble than it's worth to explain like the
Exactly.
jokes, the memes and whatnot.
It won't be
So
funny
tayo
anymore.
na lang.
With that. I mean, most of the stuff that we send are just like, normal, like, oh, like, how are you? What are you doing? Like, type thing, like, what are you watching?
Mm-mm.
Just casual stuff. Or unless there's like a really important topic, then we just like, oh, let's talk about this member of the family, or,
Oh my gosh. Wow. Just yeah, lag ganun.
how open are we with each other? Because you actually
We're
mentioned that,
close,
oh,
but
but
we
we
don't
don't really communicate. So, yeah, how open are we? Or like, have we made steps to go become more open, transparent, honest with each other? Are there some topics that are off limits, or do we still, keep things from each other?
Mm, mm, mm.
I
Benedict,
think
what do you
everybody
think?
from each other.
Yes. Why do you think that, Bear? Do you not trust us with your secrets?
What? I'm an open book. No, I mean, obviously, I know that there are things that when somebody says something, I react. So some people may not want to disclose whatever it is that they feel, you know,
Mm.
or experiencing.
I will target Benedict. How open are you with your
Yeah.
siblings?
How ano?
Because you're the only boy. How open are you with your siblings? Like maybe with your crushes,
Not
relationships.
very at
Hmm.
all.
Yes.
Well,
Like if this podcast is any
who are your friends?
evidence.
You only
But
friends
yeah,
like
like
you know.
relatively, like I guess beta would be like the one I'm most open to. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I respect that we're all naman kasi individuals, and I respect that we're doing our own individual journeys. But I love to be a part then, because they're my siblings. I love them very much, and I want to know what's. I mean, that's why it's kind of because I feel like I'm very open as much as I can with everybody. I'm like, oh, this is how I feel. This is what's happening. This is this. So I'm like always like, oh, how are you feeling? What's going on? And then so especially with Benedict, I feel like he's not. Yun nga, he hasn't he is open with me, but there are things that I feel like we can still work on, like,
Yeah.
yeah, discussing.
Mm, I mean, okay. I feel like we're obviously a step closer to what we share with each other than what we share with the parents, for
Tama
sure,
naman,
Mm.
tama
with
naman.
the parentals and the elders. But I also feel like I am a bit closer to Bethany with things I share, and I don't want that to rub other people the wrong way, or like to feel na like favoritism ba. But also I feel that our family has how's the word, views and opinions. Wow, views and opinions
It's
that
not something
kind of
like.
Certain
have
beliefs.
that have hindered me from like really sharing everything with my siblings, especially. Like, I mean, I want to, but I feel like kasi that as the youngest also that I'll be judged for it, because there are things that I have tried to open up about maybe, or I'm slowly opening up about, but then there's still those things that my like the parents believe, or the parents like see differently in the back of my mind, that I know na parang, oh, maybe it's better if I just don't share this because I'll be viewed differently or something like that. So there. So yes, definitely we do keep some things from each other, as all siblings do naman. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'd say, how about you?
Hmm.
How about did you get to share like things to your siblings that you wanted to share but then you kept it to yourself because the same thing with Blaze, or they might think differently of me if I share it to them.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't really tell people much what's been going on with, unless it's like you know uh, plans, I suppose.
Mm.
But I mean, nothing is a private kind. That's for sure.
Mm. Okay, Blaze, Benedict, and Mars start questioning your ate
Yes.
na ha.
Ah, I mean, Bear, I want to talk to you the way I talk to Benedict and Blaze, but then I guess yun nga, like the whole thing about the sibling uh
Hierarchy.
hierarchy, you could say, na parang sometimes when I feel like when I try to be open with you, you, I don't know, is it because you're the eldest and you feel like you need to put up a certain front that you can't show weakness, ganun?
What do you mean? Weakness of what?
Not weakness, but okay, like just
Maybe
be more open.
flaws.
On your
You
Yeah,
don't want
yeah,
you don't want
like
to show na, oh, I made a mistake. I want to show na I'm a good example. So I won't say these stuff to them.
I don't know. I mean, it's like I deal with my problems as I should by myself,
Mm.
and that's just how it's always been.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be different if you started sharing with the siblings and then the connection would be way closer? Because obviously, like for me, I have two siblings, and if my brothers don't share stuff, I mean, of course I have to understand them, but then sometimes I feel left out as an ate because I'm an ate din. So
Hmm.
sometimes I would go like, oh, maybe I should open up to them more so that they can share and feel na they feel trusted that I'm sharing something to them. Have you ever had that moment where you're like,
Well,
okay,
I'm fine with telling people things. It's just that I don't know. It's me. I feel like everybody else has a lot of stuff to deal with that
mm,
doesn't really seem important to say what
ah,
you know.
it's important. Whatever you feel is valid.
hmm,
It's fine because like obviously I'm the only one that's married already, and mine is more like okay, build a house, possibly migrate, have a kid,
mm.
those things. Get more
That
cash.
might that can work out. But that might help your siblings in the future. That might give them ideas of like, oh, maybe I wanna build something and get a land, or how am I gonna do this?
Mhm.
Maybe in
Uh,
the future lang.
yeah,
We'll
we'll
see.
see. Okay.
Like what Blaze did say, while you guys get older, you guys are getting closer,
Mhm.
and then
But
it takes time din.
but more so like just my concerns are, yeah. It's more like family things. It's not really like
Mm,
secret per se, or it's there are just like a whole lot of different things to think about. So that's where my mindset is in,
mm,
you know. Yeah, so it's
Hmm.
not really secrets anymore. you know.
Oh, so I guess what you're saying is that na parang yeah, you're in a different yan mindset na, like you're past
Yeah.
that. Hmm.
Not like
Okay.
fast. Like obviously like I can still have fun, but it's more like I have to reassess my priorities because I'm not getting any younger, and neither are our
Hmm.
parents. So
mm.
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
priority ish right now,
Okay.
as you can
Yes,
see
you can.
the age gap ish, but also because my ovaries have an expiry date. I mean my egg.
Yes.
So yeah.
Hmm.
Eto. So we're talking about support now. How are
Yes.
we? Not we. Oh my gosh, I'm part of the siblings. How are you guys very supportive of each other's passions and dreams? How do you guys show it?
Well, especially like with, I think we're fairly supportive of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially itong youngest, she was always very active with a lot of, yeah, she's tried out quite a few activities in her life, and we've always been like when she was doing cheerleading, we showed up at her, event, and then when
Events. Just one event.
events.
A
You
single
just
event.
went, and then
No, but
you're like, this is terrible. No.
What?
no.
What?
And then like parang when she does streaming, of course we're watching, we're sharing however we can. And then for my brother, he's very good like academically, and I remember when he had a some sort of not awarding ceremony but pinning type thing. I flew to his school, which wasn't really the, I mean,
It's
from
kind of
an,
out of the way.
yeah, from
Yeah.
out of the way. So I flew just to like give the pin for
Mhm.
that 2 days, one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, I think, and
Supposed
not just like,
to go for a
those grand,
graduation too, right?
sorry.
FedEx graduation, we were supposed to go for that too, right? But then the
Yeah.
Yeah,
next
yeah,
And
yeah.
then
everything got canceled.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Ano,
Mom
ganito.
reaction, no, not a woman. Nako. He has to get engaged.
So
Yeah.
let's try this. What so let's do it one by one. Benedict, what's the most touching experience or touching moment where you felt like, oh my gosh, my
I'm so
siblings are there for
supported.
me? Exactly. Like, and then Blaze, how what moment was that? And then Mars and then Ate. Like umiyak ka like you cried. No, just kidding. You don't have to cry.
Meron.
But you really felt,
Meron ba?
oh.
Sabi niya meron ba?
Ah!
What is support? Joke. Yeah, but if you've any if yeah, or how do you feel we could best support you?
Yun nga, I guess it's just the way nangangumusta
Ah.
Sinabet, Beryl plays, yeah,
Mm.
true
So that's
chats.
when
Especially
it
when I'm
makes
like
you feel.
AWOL.
Mm, yeah, that's cool. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything grand. I mean, just
Mhm.
someone's presence is worth a lot. Yeah.
Mhm.
This is
What
there a
about
moment where you're like, oh my gosh, they care about me.
Blaze? What
Me.
about you? Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, it wasn't any single moment. I feel like because I did dabble in a lot of like extracurriculars, and I don't know if the siblings are forced to support me. Charot.
No.
No naman, no. Definitely they were always talaga like as a family there to like show up to my events, to my competitions and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like um the sometimes Bendik or Bethany especially would say stuff na parang like, well, you're doing so good, like you're being part of so many things. But like I don't want them to see me na parang, oh, like, wow, this girl does so much, she's doing so well. I just like basically like that's another thing. But I feel nga so much love and support from my whole family that whatever not whatever I do, but like all the things that I've joined, guys, they're always there, and they're not like they don't ever question. They're not like, why are you starting that na naman, another new thing. They're always just like, oh, something new. Blaze is, like going into something new again. Like, what else is new? What are you doing? They're very supportive that way, and I'm super grateful nga that they're like that. You know.
Mm, so sweet.
Oh, I do bet.
Me.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, just I mean the fact that I feel when I first moved here back to Hong Kong, I was by myself for a bit, and then I remember they kind of flew in at like one by one because I didn't really have like that much space to accommodate everybody at the time. But like one Christmas, Benedict flew in, and then another time Blaze was here with the parents, and then Bear was here during her birthday. So but yun nga, like I feel like every time that I've expressed also like through chat na I'm like, oh, I feel a certain way. They've always had something really sweet to say to kind of like, because I was so lonely for a while, and yun nga, they kind of yeah, they were there. Okay, your turn.
Bebe.
Bear, your turn.
Meron, meron ba?
No.
Well, I mean, it's. I suppose it was nice. No, they were very accepting because um, Filipinos normally when it comes to uh,
Intercultural.
marrying into another culture, like interracial relationships, normally they are more happy if it's in the white direction. No offense against white
Oh,
people, but
Sorry.
when it's normally somebody that's more darker in complexion, they are not so pleased with that. But unfortunately, we faced that obstacle in the very beginning. But I did have the support of my siblings with that. That's they definitely supported me there. Everybody else is just like, what, why? But they were in my corner with that, and now I'm happily married.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Sana all.
Like,
Oh, I'll do it. Sorry, Mars. Pause muna. We can naman edit this out. We were just
Yeah, okay.
gonna
The
adjust the
light
light.
thing. Yeah.
Sure, sure, sure,
You
sure.
turn me on like a light switch.
Sure.
The other
Nice.
side.
Okay.
Mm.
We just
Oh my
adjusted the
gosh,
light.
ang
Sige.
ganda mo, Pogi. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad, Bear, that you feel supported.
yes, like a push-up bra.
Exactly. I was gonna make that joke.
A push-up bra.
The push-up bra. Push-up din naman yung Pero wala yung, sana yung walang wire. It's not good for the boobs.
Sports bra na lang. Sports bra na lang. Mas ano.
Benedict is like,
Benedict
I
can't
don't know
relate.
what to say.
I'm gonna click what? I don't know, a jockey strap.
There you go. Jockey strap. Okay. So, ito. So yeah, we've
Looking down.
done like positive, like a good a moment in time that we felt most supported by the other. But I'm sure naman, as all in all sibling relationships, then we've also gone through like have we had moments where we've not really agreed with each other's like life choices or like disagreed with we had like strong opinions regarding how someone is what their actions with their lives and stuff like that, if you're willing to share.
Exaggeration. All
So
the
you could
time.
you could say it to yourself. It doesn't have to go like, oh, it's Mars that did this, or it's Benedict that did
Yeah.
this.
Oh,
Like
no.
your experience that you felt like, oh, they're questioning this idea that I shared. Yeah.
Oh. Ew.
Me kasi like I have like specific hobbies that I'm very enthusiastic about and spending on. So I do have family members that are questioning why I'm spending so much on certain things. So I guess that would be one thing that people are like, yeah, be more smart regarding your finances. There, that's one thing that I felt okay.
That sounds like
But that's a good thing. Okay, anyone else want
Well, okay. Ako
or in
naman,
general? Yeah.
um, yeah, like what I did mention a while ago, being the youngest and getting away with a lot of things. My older siblings were not naman able to get away with more of the, that they did ask our parents or whatnot, but because they're older or at this certain age or whatever, our parents wouldn't allow them or didn't allow them. And for me, um, I don't know. It's not one free spiritedness or whatever. It's just that I tend to go into things a lot. For example, like getting my ears pierced. I have a lot of piercings kasi, and then I got a tattoo, and so I went forward with those, and then ended up showing my parents, so they couldn't really have a say about it. But as opposed to like how my older siblings would go about those things, like they would bring it up first before
Yeah.
doing it. So
Ask
yun
permission.
nga, I guess that also like would rub them the wrong way nga, because I would get away with them.
What about you, Ben? Any thing?
I don't think it was super not about being super.
Because the thing with Benedict is, I mean, when he wants, I mean, he's very set with some things. So it's best not to push him. I don't know.
Okay.
So being pushed with things, instead of questioning, yeah.
Anything
Ate?
there?
Well, I mean, let's see. Cause I'm the eldest, so normally all for as long as I can remember, it's been kind of on my shoulders to sort of be like the third parent or to kind of shepherd the sheep per se, you know.
Meh.
But obviously, since everybody is all grown up, everybody has their own personalities, their own convictions, and sometimes that does cause a lot of clashing. More so, especially when you live in close proximity with each other, especially with very strong personalities. Yeah. But yeah, I guess what would be nice is like, you know, kind of to sort of communicate with it rather than because when I try to get my point across, normally people would say, "Oh, you're overreacting. You're raising your voice," and it's more like, "Oh, it's done now. Why are you talking about it?" But it's more like I would want that I would be heard. It's more like I'm trying to get my opinion across, like how I feel and what I felt like we should have it ironed out and smoothed out, nor not like have it be like swept under the rug, like it's done. Why bring it up? Oh, finish. You know that kind of thing. It's more like okay, let's address it, and then once we've acknowledged like what I've done, what you've done, what we could have done, then we can close it and say, okay, it's fixed. We can move on. You know, but normally when I bring it up, it's more like, okay, yeah, sure, that's done, but never mind. Let's not talk about it. That's how sometimes I feel when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to, especially, you know, so it's kind of like being pushed aside when it comes to having the conversation. So
Mm.
yeah.
Ooh. Like Bethany, Blaze, and Benedict. Have you heard Ate sharing this before? Like being felt na her everything, not really everything, like most of the things she's saying is being pushed aside and saying you like sometimes you guys feel that she's overreacting. Have you heard her saying that, like expressing herself?
Yeah, naman, actually. Because, yeah.
How do you guys react to that?
Kasi I guess I mean without no, it's obvious naman who the two people who are living in close proximity is me and her.
Mm.
So we have this kind of conversations or you could say arguments. Because I just like okay, you said your piece. Let's up bringing up old things. And then parang what's the point of bringing it up again and again and again and you're just making yourself agitated again and again and again. So like when we're having arguments where we're just bringing up past things, I'm always like, okay, but what will that do? It was past na. So I guess I'm one of the ones who didn't kind of like sh- what she felt na doesn't what's the word kind of pushes her
Mm.
feelings aside. But it's not my intention. It's more like how do we best move forward instead of kind of like just bring past hurts back. Like what's the point of like blaming pa like oh this was what happened before. Let's just like I don't know. Am I
But do
making
you think it's
sense?
better though? I mean, better than before now? Like the communication is better na you get to say whatever you want to say, and then like each person has their time to explain, and then you guys get to have a solution afterward. Is it better now than before, would you say?
I'm glad na it's more as in talking. Walang as in I there was a point when we were young when it was a lot of throwing things and physical ganun ganun. But like I'm glad we've outgrown that part because man that was kind of scary at one point. But you know, so I'm glad now we're using words. It's
Mm-mm.
better now we're using words now and being trying to be mature about it and trying to express ourselves healthily and all
Mm.
that.
Blaze and Benedict, how do you guys deal with like siblings arguing? Like maybe you guys might be in the middle through it all, or you guys how do you guys try to fix things to make everything better?
No, okay. Kasi, well, I'm kind of basing this on the, like, our
Right.
last big argument. Our last big argument. My God.
Yun ba
A
yung sa
Christmas
Christmas?
ago.
Yeah, a Christmas ago. Okay.
Let's go back.
Well, like, I'm not gonna like be like, oh, I'm so mature and whatever. But
Mm.
I'd like to think, I mean, we all have definitely grown into more mature individuals and that we can talk it out. It's like only sometimes do we raise our voices, but then we kind of tend to
Mm.
dial it back down. But then I don't know, I'm trying to, at least for myself, I've been trying to work on not exploding when it comes
Mm.
to like fights or talks at least. So I try to, you know, talk it out more before I'm really like, oh, ano ba yan? Kasi you did this, like that, did that. Because before,
Mm.
legit, like my our grandpa used to say I have a chip on my shoulder and whatnot, and
Mm.
I wouldn't bother, and I just like explode with like sibling fights. But now I try to like
Mm.
I like see, like, can we just like do like this happen and whatnot, and like can we move on, this is this. So yeah, and,
Mm.
like, but then I of course have my fair share parent of me being the, I guess, agitator rin.
Mm.
And Bendik, I feel, is also the same, that parang he tries to,
De-escalate.
yeah, de-escalate
Yeah.
things. So I guess we're like salitan in a way,
Yeah,
depending
I like that.
on who on
Who's
who is,
who is
who
the one?
starts the argument or whatnot. But
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that there's
yeah,
always
I think that's kind of a nice thing with
that's
like
having
having a lot of
siblings. Yeah.
siblings, you know.
Mm. Exactly.
And I also don't think we gang up on each other. We don't
Oh, that's good.
really take sides. Yeah, we don't tend to take sides. I mean, like, it might feel like it because we, some of us are closer to others than, than our other siblings. But then
Mm.
I feel like we all are not like, oh, because this is the sibling I'm closer to, I'm gonna take her side. It's not automatically like that. We're
Mm.
definitely like, we can see each other's sides, or we try to see each other's sides first before like jumping in, or at least like before
Mm.
mediating.
Of
If you want to
course.
see an accurate representation,
Oh,
watch For
Four sisters
Sisters
in
in a
one.
Wedding.
OMG, true, very true.
You can like totally cool that movie.
Mm.
And John.
Okay.
Pass away.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Like at least at the end, you guys get to listen to each other's, I know, parts, like different views, and get to understand what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, because basically what we're already revealing is, because Blaze mentions that she's the youngest and all that. So we were talking about our roles, and then if ever, one of the things I want to know is like, how, if based on our position, like the eldest, middle child, only boy, youngest, did we ever, I know, have feel like we had different responsibilities or like expectations from that role?
Mm.
Yeah,
Ate
and
can
how did
go.
it? Yeah, you first. Ate. I don't say ate. Okay, you.
Next, who are you talking to?
I know.
I guess, yeah. Normally, as the oldest, you're always, expected to set an example. Like, you're always supposed to do the housework, or help with the homework, help clean and everything. So actually, there was a point that I was so fed up because the three of them would be playing that I kind of stepped back, and I
Mm.
sort of went all lax. And in that sense, that's when Bethany also started stepping up as, like, the
Mm.
leader with helping with the housework already. Because back then it was just like all me, and then now
Mm.
started. And what's good is because, like, since everybody's grown up already, like Benedict does housework, Blaze does housework. It's not anymore like, oh, you're the eldest, you're going to be the one washing the dishes and washing the clothes.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because as Beryl mentioned, that's the second. Because I'm also still naman an ate. I mean, but I'm also like a middle child then. But when Beryl, especially towards high school to college, yun nga, like there's a point na I guess she not that grew us, but parang she was already
The norm.
maturing. So there was a time that it was mostly the three of us talaga left at home and all these things. So it was a lot of, like I assumed the most of the ate duties as well. So I felt that then I felt that I wanted to be um someone that they could not look up to, or like, but I mean, yeah, some, some like a good example sort of. Yeah. So that's what I felt. And as hmm yeah, for Benedict especially, I don't know. I mean, because he's the only boy, but for some reason, since our ages are so close, I felt like I had to be a kuya. I don't know. I don't know.
Why?
No, like parang there's one point it was weird, but I remember it was like, I'll teach you how to be a boy. I don't know, but I
Be
don't know, but
break dance.
yeah, oh, talaga. But yeah. Parang yun, just yun. Like I felt like I had to be like someone dependable for the parents and for them as well. Now they could approach me and all that. Yeah,
Mhm.
you
Me
as
muna.
yeah, only
So like with the only boy thing, I don't think it was like the expectations were like divided per gender. I feel like
mm,
especially with mom's upbringing. Yeah.
mm.
In fact, I don't know, maybe, but for me, there was a bit of like more expectation as a guy, especially
Oh. Mm. So you would hear lines like, "Oh, lalaki ka, you should do this."
It's more
Dapat
like
or yeah, like be protective or like
you're gonna
yeah,
be a
like
provider
I
in the
should
future.
A good
yeah,
provider,
I
all these
should like
things.
my aggression kind of
Mm.
Yeah,
under
yeah,
it
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
thing, especially in
Yeah,
arguments or like fights. Yeah.
Mm.
it's like, oh, you're a boy, you shouldn't hit your sisters, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah,
kahit
yeah.
ako yung tinatamaan.
Yeah, before
But then there was at one point na you'd still,
they used to
you know.
fight a lot, but then one time he was able to hold her down. Na Bethany was so shocked, and she's like, "Oh my god, he's stronger than me." You remember that?
Yeah.
I think he was recharging. He's like, I'm gonna use my energy on you. Uh,
What about you?
Yes.
Did you
The
feel,
youngest.
yeah, like
What?
or
Okay,
less?
this is my narrative. Charot! This is my narrative. No naman, I feel like um the reason why I went into the whole extracurricular route was because like being the youngest, I wanted to kind of step out of the shadows of my older siblings nga, because I was always regarded as the youngest nga, but not just family members, even like our family friend group, I was like one of
mm.
the youngest there. So I didn't want to always just be associated nga as like, oh, baby, ganon, like so cute and this and that. So I was just like, I'm gonna make something of myself and whatever. And so I was like, I'm
Boom.
gonna do sports, I'm gonna do this. And then also, of course, so like I kind of wanted to make a name for myself or whatever, and so that's why I stepped into those shoes and
Mm.
whatnot. So yes, I wanted to become more independent in a way, and I feel like that's also why, like I pushed through with a lot of things that weren't necessarily agreed upon
Mm.
by by my other siblings. But yeah.
That's the same reason as what my siblings would say. Like, oh, I don't want to be under your shadows. I don't want to be. Ah, that's
Mhm.
Michelle's brother. Ah, that's Mark's
Mm-mm.
younger brother.
Yeah.
I have a name, so they're like,
True.
I need a,
True.
I need to have my own name. I need to be seen too. So I'm like, oh, true.
Because actually, Beryl, especially when we were like in the province, like she was doing a lot of things. Like she was a Girl Scout. She was like she ran for something. I don't know what you ran for.
She
No,
ran.
like student council. She was so
Okay.
active, and I remember like, oh, my sister is so cool. She's a prefect, and so of course I wanted to also do more things. But then I feel like most of the activities that I did end up doing, she also did first. So like I had to find
Mm-mm.
something then now just for me. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Okay.
Etta, because Blaze did say na, ano, she wants to do things differently. Did you rebel because they expected too much from you, or did you ever rebel? Rebel?
Yeah,
Yeah,
against
rebel.
your role or whatever, like expectations.
For
Yeah.
any of you siblings, it doesn't have to be just Blaze.
Mm. Then like did you feel like, let's say we always saw you a certain way and you're like, oh, I need to be different, I'll show them a new side of myself or whatever.
I'll show them.
Ako?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead then, sorry.
Yeah, I guess like um because like I don't know, like each of you had your own thing as girls. I mean, you were girls, but like you had diverse, what do you call this, personalities, like maybe like Powerpuff Girl or something. Like, you know, and then, but I'd be like the guy, I'd be Quantu, I don't know, Professor Utonium to complete the analogy. But I don't know, it's like little things like mom, like one time would ask me to pick like what color of toothbrush I'd like, and then uh when I picked the red, it's like that's like for girls or something like that. I don't know. Maybe my even my hair, growing my hair out, is kind of like a rebellion in a way.
True.
You told me not to do this. I'm doing it anyways.
You want to see his hair though, like when he lets it down, my
Oh my
goodness.
God.
I
So
look
wow.
exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's a lion's
We
mane.
become one.
Wait, how long is your hair? Is it hanggang...
Almost the same length
Oh,
as Bethany.
it's longer pa, I feel,
Oh my
and thicker.
Like, how
Luscious
did
but
you-
luscious.
Yeah, luscious.
Yes,
crown.
luscious.
Yeah, because can I answer
Yeah,
next?
go
No,
ahead,
because
go ahead.
I feel like out of all the siblings, I was also the meekest one. So I don't know. I felt like people thought I was too kind or whatever, and that's why I decided to do things like piercings then and tattoos because I was like, kaya ko din yan, you know, and like. I don't know, like all these activities that I've been doing lately is because I felt then na parang, oh, like 'cause people always saw me as like too safe, too nice, too ano. So that's why I would like one day I want to do cliff diving, or I just want to push myself because of all these things. That actually it's not even them saying it; it's stuff that got stuck with me. Like, oh, she's this daughter who's like this. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just flip that over. You think you know me? You don't know me. That kind of thing. Yeah, fair.
That's it.
I suppose, you know, the whole I've been putting PT off. That's actually the course to be fair, I didn't even know what it was when I wrote it down. It was just like we were running late to school, and mom was like, "I'm going to submit your college, application."
Oh shit.
What? And I'm like, I don't know, what is USD known for, And she's like, oh, that they're good at engineering and stuff and architecture. And in my head, I'm like, I don't think I want to do it. I hate math, and she's like, oh, well, they're well known for nursing and PT. And I was like, okay, then put that down. And
Put that down.
I got accepted for PT. Nursing was hard to get into, so I got accepted for PT, and boy, was it no joke. So, kids, you better read up on whatever you apply for, because you might just get stuck with it. And yeah, it took me so long to graduate
Aw.
PT because the drive wasn't there, and because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And so, lo and behold, years later, even though I'm flying, I think I might need to do PT still. So I'm gonna have to revisit that. But yeah, it's more like I've been pushing back against it, and lo and behold, it's still falling into my lap as a means of migration. So yeah, there's that.
But you were so good at it, though. I mean, I know it wasn't your first choice, but like, I remember when you were doing your interning and all these things, OJT, you were doing so well, and I feel like,
Well,
I mean, I know initially it wasn't your choice, but then I feel like you rose up to that challenge.
But it's been how many years since internship? So I'm a bit rusty. So I need to read up on a lot of stuff.
You got this, sis. You got this.
Yes.
It's like riding a bike.
Hey, we can show you support here.
Yeah, we're showing you support
We can show you support with your PT.
Now.
No, I
Then lift
to
up
read
your breast.
Your
the Philippines.
bro.
Benedict is like, no, I'm not gonna touch those.
Yeah, no,
Like,
no.
Oh shit.
Rebellious stage. Well, I feel like yeah, no, what I said nga with like being in the shadow of like siblings was only like a small part. I feel like it was more rebellious towards the parents because like for some reason like the parents when we'd ask permission, I don't know if that was just me because I never really like saw like my siblings asking permission, but like, at least in
I
my
asked permission.
experience,
Oh,
yeah,
go
I
ahead. Go
know,
ahead.
at least in my experience when I would ask permission, it felt like a lot of the time they would say no and they wouldn't give a
Mm.
reason why and whatnot, or they'd always be like, oh, you just go, you ask
Ask
your
your
mom,
mom.
or then
Ask
my
your
mom
dad.
would be like,
Mm.
you go ask your dad, and I kind of got fed up with that. I was like, I'm gonna just go because
I'm
like
gonna live my life.
I'm gonna live my life, my best life, ganon. Like, not necessarily, a good thing, wag niyo akong tularan, ganon, kids, you know. But yeah, yun, so I was just like,
Shoes.
it doesn't make sense. It would have made sense at least. So they're like, oh, because this and that, and like they kind of um helped us in a way, or were there to like make us understand like why it was better not to go or whatnot, or
Mm.
like, okay, I don't want to compare, but like I couldn't understand why like some of my friends, like their families would go about those things certain ways, na parang inuman, for example, na like they
Mm.
were okay lang to drink with their family members, and I found it so like, interesting and like appalling, like, oh, why can they have that and whatnot. And so I kind of was frustrated, I guess, at the thought na parang like, why are our parents deciding for us, when they could go about it a better way. And so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just take things into my own hands. And I guess that was not like, yeah, my rebellious phase in a way, and kind of like melded how I am now. So yun. Yes, frustration.
You got to do stuff that you wanna do, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about relationships earlier. Ate Vero was talking about like her partner and all. Here it says, how open were you guys introducing your partner? Was it hard for you to like start a conversation like, hey, mother, father, actually, I have someone special right next to me? Or just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or
who
like,
wants to share?
doesn't even need to be like romantic relationships, like with your friends, or like ganun, like how involved are your siblings with your relationships, like outside of it, then. So Bear, we can start with you.
Yeah. You mean
Yes, you can
like
go the romantic route or like friends. Like, how did you usually bring them over?
I'm pretty sure like I've introduced most of my friends to everybody, you know,
Mm,
especially like
yes.
if it's school friends, like it's normally the standard that you always bring them to meet, your parents.
They pass
No,
the
but
buck.
yeah, normally it's like I would introduce friends like that. That used to be how everything would be when, especially like when you were younger. Your
Mm,
mom's like, "Oh, if you're going out, who are you going with? Do I know them?" That kind of thing. So it's
mm,
like I've always introduced friends. So when it came to somebody making legal, like somebody in the romantic sense, well, my first boyfriend, because technically I wasn't allowed to date.
sorry.
I wasn't allowed to date like until after college, apparently. But I had my first
Didn't stop anybody.
yeah. Um, I had my first boyfriend in second year college, and that did not go over well
Mm,
with anybody apparently, and more so because he's half Filipino, half Nigerian as well. So they were all that they just had negative stereotypes, and they're like, "Oh, you're dating, you want to get married already?" And we're like, "No, it's just that you enjoy somebody's company." So because of those things, it's more like you sort of decide not to mention it
Mm-mm.
because you see the reaction to it. Because yeah, it wasn't a really good reaction. But eventually, when it came to, when college was over and, when people asked permission, like during graduation, my husband asked permission, and my
Mm.
mom, my mom still had, oh, I thought you were just friends kind of reaction. Yeah.
Guess what? You guys are married.
Still friends.
Still friends. I
We're
got the
just
ring, but he's
roommates,
still my
Mom.
friend.
OMG.
I know, right? Mom is all like, "Oh, how is my son?"
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
what complete 180 from the start. She
True.
just needed time.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's still kind of still thinks of us as babies, so she just needed like to stew in it and the reality of it. Then finally, she's like, okay, yes,
Yeah, she's
she's
like,
okay
"Where's
with
my
the
son?
situation.
How's my son? How is he spending Christmas?"
What about your daughter?
Yeah.
What
Like,
daughter?
oh yeah, I got a daughter. What?
Do I go next or?
Whoever.
Uh, uh, uh,
Friends, relationship.
yeah, I'm like an open book with them. Like I introduce them to everybody. Like I don't know, I'm so proud about it. But like when I have new friends, oh guys, this is my siblings and Blaze and like Beryl and my mom and dad. I just like just yesterday I went ice skating with a colleague and I was like, hey, this is my sibling Blaze. Yeah. So yeah, I've always been, but with dating. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really had that much opportunities because I haven't dated that much. I mean, but um, but like serious dating or someone that I knew was gonna be there for a while. Yes, it was important to me to get their approval. I mean, I really wanted them. It was a must for them to get along with my siblings. I don't know because of how close I am with them. So like,
Mm.
especially I already mentioned this in the last time, but when as you can see, this one is very quiet. So when Kevin was able to kind of like get him talking, I was just like, ooh, keeper. But yeah, so that's why I was like, okay. I was very hesitant, yeah, to introduce, but when he so happened to get along with everybody in my family, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy about that. Yes.
Oh, I've always like chalked it up to being a guy thing na compartmentalizing like
Oh,
different parts of
oh, I see.
my life, yeah.
Mm.
But
How about
and yeah, the people I have introduced to you are like neighbors or
Mm-mm.
like yung malalapit lang, like people I carpool with or
Yeah. I've seen a couple of his friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Shout out
only
to
met
me.
Benedict.
Shout out to Therese.
True.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
feel like I think I made a realization. What? A
Just now,
realization. Yeah.
Eureka.
No, because Beryl and Bethany are very open to introducing their friends. And then it made me wonder like why I wasn't open. There's another I also have another reason for that. But then I realized na parang at least me, I felt na like mom and dad weren't really there for me to introduce my friends to. I mean, like a lot of the time, yeah, they were away or doing their own thing with their own work and whatnot, and so I never really had an opportunity for mom to like oversee like outings or whatnot, and yeah, they wouldn't allow me to go to outings. So like I couldn't. You'd be like, oh, here's my friend and whatnot, like past high school at least. But then another thing was with the siblings naman, my classmates and my friends, I feel like the whole being rebellious kind of thing and like stepping away from their shadow, it kind of made me want to be like,
These are
like
mine.
protective of my group of friends. So apparently like the cool kids or something or some
Okay.
stupid shit like that. I'm sorry, I'm not to swear.
Go ahead.
Some
Go ahead.
stupid shit like
So we're not the cool kids.
so I'm just like, I don't want to like they had like my siblings had their own school groups and whatever. Yeah, because like I felt not like at least okay there I can delve into it more. I felt not being the youngest nga, and then seeing the friend groups of my older siblings and seeing like how their dynamics were and feeling left out. I kind of wanted to turn that narrative around and be like, okay, I have my own cool group of friends and you can't be a part of it like that. So I feel like that was another reason why I didn't really introduce them. I was like, no, mine, kind of in a way, which is silly now. But I do, of course, like I have my close group of friends that I do obviously want to eventually introduce my siblings to them, you know. But yes.
No, my friend.
I just realized then a proof of me, like just showing my friend Mars. How long have you known them? Diba? This whole
Oh, they were.
thing, parang you've always been present, and then like whenever you visit, diba, I
I
bring
can
you
show the
to.
before and after photos before.
Oh no.
I think Blaze had bags then, and then Ate still had
OMG.
braces then.
Oh no.
And that she
Yes.
cut by herself.
Yeah.
Yes,
Britney
Britney
Spears
Spears.
thing.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Oh,
Oh my
funny.
God.
I mean, I think it's important kasi din to, I mean, it's good to involve your family then and for them to know your friends. But like
Yes.
like what Bendik said, he compartmentalizes, and like it's good to have like that sort of like a separate thing to
Yeah,
develop
naman.
yourself as individuals. Like yeah, because you besides your family, you have other people that influence you that help you with your growth. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay, so we've been mentioning actually because what do we have in common? Parents. Okay. We're
Sister from
related.
another.
Oh my.
Okay. You like the transition?
There you go.
So the parents, do you think is their presence in arguments, is it necessary? Is it positive or negative, their input?
Or does Bear want to go?
Yeah,
first?
do you want to go, Beryl?
Yeah.
Like the parents' involvement in
I
our
suppose because right, obviously, whenever there's arguments, it's normally because of gaps with ages, experiences, opinions,
yes.
and obviously with our parents, there's an even bigger gap. Not even bigger gap, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, they're not sort of in the same plane as we are when it comes to
Yep.
handling arguments. So it's more like instead of it getting resolved, it kind of gets more out of control. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. It's more like dad goes in, guns blazing, like, "What's happening? Blah blah blah. I'm angry. You're angry. That's all."
Yes.
I
yes.
thought
Medyo na-agitate tayo lalo.
True. And then our mom is a bit hard of hearing. So
Yeah.
she's
And
just
then
like,
she gets more frantic, when
Yes,
she
frustrated,
understands what's
frantic, all
happening.
of
She
the
just feels
above.
the emotion of it instead of the
True.
content.
Yeah.
So
So
we're just like, oh. So everybody becomes so high strung that it's just like, oh,
I know
that Eminem song. It's like when a tornado meets a volcano.
it's a volcano. Yes.
rapper yan eh, rapper. No, like they mean well. I
Yes,
really,
definitely.
I know that they, especially when they, of course, hurts them when they see us disagree and all that. And I'm sure they try their best to help, especially mother. I know she wants to help and help us like talk amongst ourselves. But yun nga, it does add to the like we're the we're all high strung and then we need to repeat what's happening to someone who can't really like hear it well and all that. Yeah.
I think it would work if there were subtitles.
Yes.
True. Ma, teka lang, ma. Wait.
Yeah. Maybe like when she's speaking, one of you would go like, wait, ma, I'm gonna type it for you.
Okay. Sige.
Reloading.
We need the ones sa court.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sa court that they type really fast.
Yeah, I can
We
imagine
need
us.
to hire one. Yes. That would work.
Wait lang. Should I going through?
That's so
And
funny.
she's like,
Strike that
okay.
from the record.
That's the way.
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of learned how to iron things out more amongst ourselves without involving
the parents.
unless need be talaga.
Yeah. Tama.
So very like four sisters in a wedding.
Yeah.
Charades, ma, charades.
Yeah. Exactly. OMG.
Okay.
Was there a moment where you guys actually had to tell your parents to stop?
Yeah, actually there are when it's like super it's escalated na and we know that they're just gonna get more stressed out unless we put a stop to it. So we're just like
Mm.
we okay, it might sound a bit harsh, but basically we're like like mom, we're handling it
Yeah,
already and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Like dad, it's okay now. Okay, like we
yeah,
just tell
Absolutely.
them outright
yeah,
because like they're getting more stressed out and they don't even know what they're getting stressed out
yeah.
about.
Exactly.
So we're just like, stop muna, stop. Yeah.
Nah, it's not harsh. It's good that you
Yes,
guys
it works.
know when to stop and know
Mhm.
like how to explain
It's
afterwards.
more
Like,
your blood
we're
pressure, your
done
blood
already.
pressure. You're not. It's more like
What there?
your blood pressure, Dad.
Yes. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
exactly. May gulay that man.
May tubig
Hmm.
ba dyan? You gotta drink your water, Dad.
Yeah. Kalma, kalma.
Yeah, because
Oh
we really
shit.
don't want to like hurt their feelings. Then,
Mm-mm.
yeah, so it's best to push them away very gently. You know,
Gently.
yeah, you can trust us. We're adults na, mama
Mm-mm.
and daddy.
Yeah.
Mm, I
So
know.
speaking of the parents, we're talking about how they like to get involved and all. But like, did you ever feel like growing up if they ever treated us, differently? And then why or why not? And then we can go from each other's roles. So as the eldest, did you feel, yeah, were you treated differently or set apart in certain moments?
Of course.
Hmm.
Like I said, I'm the guinea pig.
Hmm.
So every trial and error I went through, you know, they're like,
Hmm.
oh, this doesn't work. Okay, let's try this. It was like, oh, if this school doesn't work, okay, we'll try this other school.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Does it
Oh,
affect you in
Oh,
other
that's
in
why.
any way, Ate?
Well, I mean, aside from the fact that I've been to 9 different schools in total,
Mm.
Seven. We can count. Yeah, we've all. Yeah.
I mean, it's, with moving around a lot, it's more like I've learned to adjust.
Hmm.
It doesn't phase me, and it's more like it's made me very independent. You know, like some people say it's kind of antisocial, but more it's like I'm fine being on my own. I'm fine with being with friends. It's not
Hmm.
something that I would actively seek out per
Mm.
se. Because it's like I get everybody has their own life, and I don't know. So it's more like I'm understanding that people have their own situation. It's I guess it's because of that, upbringing, like how mom was very confident in how who I was as a person when it came to, living in Hong Kong, studying in Hong Kong, and then when grandma decided that hey, your kids should be raised by their grandparents and not just, yayas, our mom basically moved us to the province, and it was another country. Back then I didn't know any Tagalog, I didn't know Ilocano, which is another dialect. uh, I didn't know any Gadang. you know um so basically, uh yeah, it sort of helps you try to adapt, that kind of thing. So yeah,
Awesome.
but I mean, so yeah, the whole trial and error, I guess, made me who I am as a person.
Yes.
Hmm. For me,
Middle child
middle
syndrome.
child, exactly. Like I felt like I was always being compared to either the eldest, the youngest, the only boy. So I don't know. Sometimes it was hard, but like I don't know. I guess that's why I'm very indecisive regarding a couple of things. Because there was someone who came before me, so I was always reliant on my sister to have things in order. And then later on, when it suddenly became me, it was like,
Mm.
kind of hard to transition to being like the main person, the one people depended on. But also with the parents, they were also, yeah, they tended to forget about stuff. Well, I mean, like especially with one time it was annoying because my dad forgot my birthday, and it was just kind of
Yeah.
weird because like he's the day after me. Like, how can you forget my
Yeah.
birthday? So yeah, I remember like my goodness. That's why actually Mars opening up. Remember Jessa keeps talking about that one time that I was crying so hard in in
Yeah.
um someone's birthday party because everyone was having debuts and stuff. Anyway, but so
That's okay, Mars.
they forgot my birthday that year.
Oh,
I remember. No, but
I don't know. I'm sorry.
no, 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 it's okay, baby. Girl, don't cry. Don't make me cry.
No, I just I remember because I had to
Wala akong
remind
tissue
them.
dito.
yeah, I was there, Beth, because we were running
Oh.
late to school, and then our dad had to drop Bethany off at the LRT. And then like we were obviously in the rush in the morning and whatnot, and then our dad, I guess, was like saying all these things and man like getting mad, and then Bethany like yeah nga, like she slammed the door, but before slamming the door, she's like, you didn't even remember that it's my birthday, and like she walks off, she storms off because she's so mad because our dad's just like so forgetful. How can you forget like your daughter's birthday that's the day before yours? So yeah, I feel also that a lot of the times a lot of Bethany's frustrations ran stem from that, yeah, like the whole middle child syndrome kind of thing, and kind of being forgotten or like overlooked. And I feel like she does have a lot of hinanakit because of that.
Sorry. Okay.
Don't
Your
be
turn.
sorry.
Baby. It's okay, Mars.
Okay.
You let it all out.
Remember my birthday? Yeah.
I remember everybody's birthday.
Well, your siblings are there, and then of course they make you feel special. Then
Yeah, you make
yeah.
me feel special. Twice, sorry. Okay.
Go.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Did you were you treated differently? I mean,
I
actually,
don't feel like
you
it.
don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like,
I don't know. I
Am I
think mom
just not
always
as
feels
good with that?
because
Six.
normally when we go shopping, she feels like she keeps buying for us girls, but then when it
Ah,
comes,
yeah.
oh, that's true.
so
Like,
I feel like as you being a boy, you're never gonna get hand me downs. You know,
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. No, it's fine. Okay, in a relation with hand me downs nga, and that also was the reason why like I would steal a lot of my sister's clothes
and
because
brothers.
and brothers because like okay, what do you call that? Ate Alex brought it up yesterday na parang it's gonna be like handed down to me anyway, so why not start earlier? But yeah, not a good thing also, and I feel obviously I feel bad, and now I ask permission naman, and like without because I back then I didn't care, char, but yeah, so there. Nice.
well, how about you? How do you?
Yeah. Do you have anything? Do you want to
Uh-uh.
cry so that I'm not alone? Cry.
Mars, don't worry. I'm crying here too.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess recently, like, um, academically, like, there's this idea of me, and then like I'm the academically inclined one, and then so there's a lot of expectations that go with that, and then yun nga, there was a basically I stopped schooling for a long while before I returned, and then yun nga, they were really disappointed during that time.
Siblings are there.
Yes. Yes.
just air hug, air hug.
Oh, baby.
Air hug.
Don't worry,
Aw.
we will see you soon.
Yes. That's why I'm always thankful for my siblings because at my lowest low and everything like we're always together. I mean they're even not what the heck when I cry. Even though they're not physically there, I know they're there. They got my back. And yeah, like we all came from the same source, but yeah, it's inevitable now we're all gonna go through our own individual journeys. Sorry.
Girl, nagyago ka umiyak.
I have a lot of feelings.
Doesn't even
Oh my
Wanna make
god.
rainbows and
I want to make a cake with a rainbow.
exactly. That girl is me.
It doesn't even go here, but
Now, Blaze.
I
Like, how does your parents treat you? Do they treat you?
Yeah.
How do they treat you
I
differently?
feel like, in a way, they didn't treat me differently. It's more of like I sometimes feel that there was maybe a little bit of, I don't want to self proclaim it, but like a little bit of favoritism in a way because nga they let me get away with a lot of things, or at least they didn't get keep like stay mad at me for too long because of the things that I would do. And then of course like the extracurriculars, like I'm pretty sure like my mom spent, I know, yeah, she spent a lot on my extracurriculars basically. So
Exactly.
there I feel like Rin, I kind of, I don't know like how where I want to go with this, but yeah, I feel like they kind of put me not on a pedestal, but like put me as the, oh, this is our daughter that does this and does that and whatnot. But I didn't want that naman to like outshine the other siblings, and they don't play favorites for sure. Whenever like people ask, oh, like who are your parents favorites, I really can't pinpoint because they've never shown it that way. But I feel like because of all the stuff that I got into, they tend to be like, oh, this is my
Something to
daughter,
show.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
I can show off
my
the
parents.
trophy. But yeah, definitely not like no favoritism whatsoever. But yeah.
I think naman our parents did their best to kind of like cater to us
Mm-mm.
individually in our
Individually.
needs.
Yeah.
And especially with mommy, she was always like set on like she wanted to have like one-on-one bonding time with each of us as we
Mhm.
were growing up.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Yes. At the this is the emotional part of ours. Well, it was already emotional, but this will
yes,
be
sorry. I will not
more
cry anymore.
emotional. No, it's okay. It's how you feel. Don't be sorry of your feelings. At the it's the messages. So
Messages.
messages. So this is where you tell your siblings how you feel about them, because we don't normally do that. You don't go like, "Hey, let's go party," and then actually in 10 minutes or let's go out and tell each other how we feel. So
Mm,
this is your moment, guys.
yeah.
So no, who wants to go first?
Let's start
Who
with the
wants-
youngest.
Okay, para
Okay.
different na.
Para
Okay.
iba naman.
Yes.
Well, um, I guess uh, now, like, thank you first and foremost for being my siblings. Of course, I mean, yeah, like we've gone through a lot, I should say, and of course, we've all had like our rough patches with one another. And right now, I really am super grateful, yeah, for where we are because at my rebellious phase, I was very, closed off from you guys, and I was like, I don't want to be involved with my siblings and whatnot. I just want to do my own thing. But right now I'm at a point in my life that I do want to, get to re know you guys more, and I really want to make that conscious effort, yeah, to like be there for you guys and like have a deeper understanding with each and every one of you, if and when possible, because yeah, like we're all each other's god basically. Yeah, we're all each other's god, and yeah, I feel like ang dami kong pagkukulang as a sibling. I feel with the group chat and whatnot, I know I don't reach out a lot. I'm not the person to reach out, but I would like to change that, of course, and not, for each one of you. I want to get close to each one of you. Where if I could hug you right now, I would. But yeah, thank you also, for being the best ates and kuya a youngest child could have. Shula char. No, really though. Thank you. And then like when I look forward, well, meeting, and I look forward to doing business with you in the future. No, I look forward, of course, like more bonding moments and like memories with you guys, of
Mm,
course,
mm, mm.
a whole lifetime. When but
Your turn, Lindas.
Same. I
same.
mean, I as well want to
Copy paste.
grow like our
Sincerely.
relationship and to be more communicative with each one of you. Yeah, and make more effort, like active effort, to reach out and tell you guys my feelings, what's on my mind, and stuff like
I think I already
You can do it.
no, I don't want to cry anymore. But yeah, basically, I love you guys so much. I'm so happy that we're complete, and I'm waiting for Bear to get out. But yes, this, yeah, um, I don't know. I just want us to, continue to just be there for each other. Like, like they said, we're all each other's gut.
Yeah.
Yes, like
that. What's got?
All
it's like
each other's got.
what we got.
Is,
Ah,
is
okay,
each
okay.
other.
That's
Yes.
good.
Like
But
we're
we
basically
got like both ganon greatest of all time.
Uh,
we've always other's got. Yeah. But yun, like I feel like yun nga, I can improve upon like some relationships there. You and I, we need to talaga work on how to talk without talaga like being at each other's throats, and I need to work on that talaga. I know that I need to give you space to be able to fully express yourself without feeling that I'm stopping you. Yeah. And I just really want to be open with all of you, as in more open and more transparent and just honest, and not trying to like hide. I mean, like I can still keep some stuff to myself, but I still I love you guys so damn much. My God.
Ayun.
Yun.
Yay.
Fair.
So, anyways, as the eldest, obviously, like I've watched each and every one of you grow up. Or as if you guys haven't watched each other grow up now.
No, no.
But no, I mean I've held each and every one of you as a baby, you know.
Oh.
So it's
And
like
dropped you guys.
It explains so much.
it's more like I guess for me it's like I always thought nah you guys would depend on me for things. But it's like with you guys growing up, like it just feels like you don't need me anymore.
Why are you guys doing that?
Because yeah, I mean, be honest, it's like I'm not really close with any of you.
Oh,
Um,
man.
it's like when Odinse asks me, "Hey, what are your siblings up to?" Me, I'm like, I don't know. you know, I mean, like I only tell what everybody else can see because I know that's what they show me. But uh, I don't know any of your secrets. So, and it's like I understand because I'm old fashioned. Like I'm like the third parent, so maybe what I say or what I think, you you refrain from telling me things because you're afraid of how I will react, and you don't feel confident enough, or you don't trust me enough to confide in me. But I understand them, and it's like I'll always give you them a big enough birth to grow. It's just that I'll always be concerned, and I'll always want to look after you guys kasi nga, yung dati. So yeah, I mean, it's just those things. So for me, I just want you guys to know that I love you, and even though I may be very angry sometimes or overly emotional, it's just because it's always coming from a place of love, and it's always coming from the place that I want to keep you guys safe. So it's not because I'm trying to be irrational. It's just that obviously that protecting each and every one of you has always been my priority. So yeah, it's just that. So I mean, you can keep your secrets, but it wouldn't hurt naman to let me know what's going on with you guys. So
no, we will.
There.
yeah,
Let's break quarantine,
Gago.
I'll hug you.
Let's
Hoy.
be na gwinet you.
Oh no.
Oh,
But, but if it means anything, like coming here, if it hadn't been for you flying the loop, I really made it a point. That was one of my goals, like coming here, and I would open up to you more. As in, like, I really wanted to, like, I also, like, wanted, hala, baka ako yung umiyak, wait lang, to, like, apologize for, like, for, stuff that kind of you felt not when cheated off, or, like, that I, like, those things that I was able to get away with that you weren't able to, and, like, I wanted, to open up about those things that I would open up to Bethany about and whatnot. I was like, I really want this trip to mean something. I really want to be able to talaga, like, bond with my siblings, especially Beryl, because I feel like I haven't done so in a while. And so, yeah, you say you can keep your secrets, but I do really want to share things with you, especially. So if when you get out and get out na, I, like,
Yeah.
legit,
We need
there, I'm
talaga
gonna
like
make
a
it an effort.
yeah, like a sibling inuman
Open,
whatever
yeah,
says.
open forum, ganun.
Open
Alam mo
forum.
ba? Thank you for being my kandila pa yan, ah. So, yes, there. Love you. I'm sorry. Well, I want to delve into that more, of course. Sorry through the screen doesn't mean much, I know, but yeah, I hope you know that I really do want to reach out and get closer to you and every one of us.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, basically there's a lot of love underneath all of this, and Beryl, I'm so sorry that we made you feel that way, but I I, I was gonna say the secret, no, the body is hidden in the
Ano to?
sorry,
The body.
the body that I know stashed away. I'll tell you where it is.
Ay, gagi. Hala. Oh my God, di ba napanood yun?
Not that
I, wa-
secret.
I wasn't aware.
uh, no, but yeah, I think Mary, I love you. I really do. I'm sorry I don't show it the best way, but I do love you very much. Okay, okay, guys. I just want to say also that was our messages for each other. We got emotional. Actually, this whole thing, I was like, "Is this therapy? This is very therapeutic."
Yes.
But like, yeah, mostly I want to say like, thank you for doing this. Thank you for agreeing to be here, especially this boy. There's a moment that we weren't quite sure he'd be joining us right now. Yeah, but because it's a really big thing, and I'm grateful that you joined us today. I love you.
Love you.
I love you too.
All. Love you all.
I love
Love
you.
you, baby.
I love you. Buendia, kids.
Love you, Michelle.
We have so many plans when you get out. We're gonna
Yeah.
like do all kinds of TikTok challenges. I know
TikTok ganun.
TikTok. Ganun.
TikTok
yes.
here.
I know,
Don't worry.
but
We find
we
ways.
find ways. Okay.
So many incriminating things.
But yeah, I really appreciate that everybody is like open and willing to share between you guys, because of obviously it doesn't happen all the time, and it's nice to have this platform for you guys to share and say how much you guys love each other and support each other. Yeah. Thank you guys. I'm so glad I'm part of the At the end nga pala, we have it's where we promote. Like you guys can
Yeah.
promote
Like if you
whatever
guys have
there's, like
things.
maybe streaming. I'm just saying you want to promote
We'll plug in.
or plugs.
Well, hello. Sorry. Okay, so I stream on Facebook Gaming. If you guys want to give me a follow, you can follow me on Blaze Buendia. That's Blaise Buendia, and yeah. So I stream mobile games, PC games, Switch games. If you are into that, go ahead and give me a follow. Yes.
So once again, you've got your kumares.
Michelle, aka Chang Babe, and
Bethany, aka Betcha by Galiwao, and a special thanks to my siblings, Kumaring Beryl, Kumaring Benedict, and Kumaring Blaze. Thank you for joining us today.
3,
Mhm.
2, 1. Kita kits!
Kita kids!
Okay na yun!
Okay na.